So yeah, I've had a hell of a week. Has that ever happened to you that like in the span of like a day or week or weeks or like months, one thing just keeps happening like over back to back and you're just like, what the fuck? You're trying to stay positive, you're trying to like dig yourself out of this hole, and then something comes and just like dumps more dirt on you and you're like, oh my god, why? Yeah, that was me this month. But actually it was the best that it could have happened. I realized something very important, and once I realized it, it kind of just like flipped the switch and just things started turning around. So if you want to find out what that was and how you can have the same aha moment, then keep on watching. Hello and welcome. My name is Melissa from thepurposecoaching.com, and today I want to talk to you about what to do when you're feeling stuck. So to be honest, what really inspired me to make this video was just my own experience. This last few months have been rough, and so much kept happening that just kept like setting me back and setting me back. And I think when we go through these things, we want so badly to just like, kind of get over this and for things to go back to the way they were. And maybe we're not realizing that they're not supposed to. Maybe that's why you feel stuck and unable to move forward, because you're trying so hard to get back to the way it was and the way it was before, all the shit happened. And we as human beings are so stubborn, we don't realize when life is trying to force us in another direction. I honestly believe that you're not destined to have a bad life. I don't believe that you're destined to suffer. I think that everything happens to you is for the good of you, for a reason, either because you're going to learn something so valuable or because something better is coming for you. That's what I believe. But sometimes when we go through these things, we don't see that because something keeps happening after another, you're like, what the fuck? And we don't realize that maybe life is trying to push me this way, and we're so stubborn that that's the only thing that gets our attention is like a shit show, like when it's like one day back to back and you're like, maybe I'm not supposed to go that way. Maybe life's trying to push me this way. First of all, look at this as an opportunity. Tony Robbins says something that I love, and it's that if you would just realize that life is happening for you, not to you, everything would change. And that's true. If you really think about that, what would that mean? If life is happening for you, not to you, would that change how you look at the situation you're in, whatever situation it is? So if you're feeling stuck and you want to know how to move forward, then keep on watching. And if none of these steps work for you, I have a bonus tip at the end that is sure to just fix it all. So step number 1, take a step back. I like to put in the example of like a hamster in a maze, The hamster in the maze can't see their way out, but the person observing the mouse can absolutely see it. So sometimes it helps to just take a step back and look at it from a different point of view, and maybe that'll give you some perspective. Step number 2, start small. There's such a thing as analysis paralysis, and I noticed I did this too this month. There was like so much time spent just thinking and thinking, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? If I had spent that time doing one thing, it probably would have helped me feel better sooner, probably would have helped me see results sooner. So don't dwell so much on why this is happening or doing this big old production to like make things better, move things forward. Just start with something small. Start with something simple. I totally believe that the difference is in the details. So start with something small. It's doable. It will make a difference. Step number 3, reconnect your why. Again, this is also something I did not do. I was so focused on other things and, things that clouded my judgment and clouded my beliefs really, that I forgot what was important to me. And it's so easy to use the excuse of, well, I don't have time to think about that stuff. I have priorities or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's what gets you going. So reconnect with your why, reconnect with why you're doing this. That alone will give you the energy to keep going. And if you don't know how to connect with your why, I believe I have a video on that. I will link it down below. But know what's really important to you. Step number 4, brainstorm your options. So sometimes you just need different ideas. And I don't think you should do this alone. I think you should ask a friend or somebody. You sit down, even if you don't have somebody. It's more fun with another person because they have different ideas than you. But sit down and just brainstorm. Just write, okay, how do I get myself out of this? What else can I do? How can I fix this? And you'd be surprised what can come out of you when you're just writing and writing and writing. So brainstorm ideas. You may come up with several different solutions to your problem, and I think it's more fun. Step number 5, take a break. Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes it's just too much. There's such a thing as brain fog. There's such a thing as overwhelming yourself. There's such a thing as doing too much. And sometimes you just need a nice little break. Sometimes you just need to just stop and take it all in and reflect. Reflection alone can bring so much perspective. Step number 6, let go of what's not working. At some point when you're reflecting, you may realize that there's a certain thing or a certain person that is just not helping, or they may be even be causing a lot of your distress. And sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow because there's things that, like for example, in my business, I'm a realtor, and my partner and I have really had to like come to the conclusion that there are certain clients that while we love them and they're good people, and while they promise to bring us more business and that the next deal will be easier, they just bring problems. They just bring so much problems, and at the end of the day, we spend so much time just trying to fix their problems instead of working on our business. And you have to really look and evaluate. Sometimes it's not just the monetary, it's not just the money. Sometimes it's how much energy you're putting into that. Sometimes it's how much energy it's taking out of you. And energy can be more valuable than money. I really believe that. So really look at what's costing you and what you may need to let go of. Step number 7, live in gratitude. This is always such an instant relief. This always works immediately. You cannot experience 2 different emotions at the same time. So it's hard for you to be feeling bad about yourself, feeling like a failure if you're being grateful. And really, the fact that you can watch me on your phone right now on YouTube tells me that you have a better life than a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that can't afford things like this, that maybe don't have the time, or it's just a different life. This world is so big. I'm sure you can find something to be grateful for. I'm sure you can find several things to be grateful for. So do that. Be grateful. You focus on expands. If you keep focusing on what you don't have, what's going wrong, you're going to get more of that. But step number 8, shift your state. So this kind of has to do with what I spoke about in the beginning, about looking at this in a different perspective, about looking at this in the sense that, okay, maybe life's not happening to me, it's happening for me. So shift your state means look at it from a different point of view. Yeah, maybe this is your reality, maybe this is what you're experiencing, but what's another way you can look at it? Because the way you're looking at it right now is not supporting you. It's just not. So you have nothing to lose of exploring different avenues, of exploring different strains of thought, of different ways of looking at it, so that you can feel empowered. You can have the energy to do something about it. Which brings us to step number 9, take action. Sometimes it's just a matter of just doing the thing you need to do, whatever it is. I understand that when you're feeling stuck like this, also comes depression, also comes low energy, also comes like you just don't feel like doing a damn thing, and you don't think whatever you do is going to make a difference anyway because everything just sucks right now. But you need to do something. You need to get up and do something. You can't just sit and dwell there. So whatever action you think may help a little bit, go do it. A lot of people think that you have to be motivated first and you go do something. No. And motivation is a byproduct. Go do the thing first, and then you'll become motivated to do more. Motivation is a byproduct. So if you're waiting for the motivation to come and hit you, you're going to wait a long time. It's not going to happen. Get up and go do something. Step number 10, reach out for help. I love this because it always works. It's also very hard for me. I do not like to feel like a burden. I do not like to show that I can't do something on my own, but just can't sometimes, and it's okay. There's so many. You look at the lives of any successful person, none of them got there on their own. Nobody got to where they are on their own, and you're no different. So ask for help. It's okay. You don't have to carry this by yourself. Look for help, ask for help. It'll take some pressure off your back. And finally, the bonus tip: when all else fails, be patient. You're like, are you fucking serious? That's your bonus tip? Yeah, it's my bonus tip. Be patient. Sometimes you're doing all the right things. Sometimes you're doing what you're supposed to do. Sometimes you have the right team around you. Sometimes, there's nothing else you can do. But be patient. We often overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in a decade. Especially this day and age, it's so easy for us to be impatient. Just be patient. It's going to come. But some of you haven't paid your dues yet. Some of you haven't done enough work. Yeah, maybe you've worked a little, you're doing the right things, but some of you have not paid your dues yet. So be patient, keep working hard, you will be rewarded for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you heard, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and comment below, how do you plan to move forward?